Verdict, folks. Verdict. Verdict. This is... Guys, I'm tweeting it out. If you could share it out. We have a verdict. We have a verdict. We have a verdict. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. We have a verdict. Verdict is in. Verdict is in. Let me add the ticker. Holy shizzle. Let folks know you're here. We have a verdict. I don't even have the chat up. Jeez. Thanks for being here, guys. What's up, Raul? KJ? We have a verdict. Let me put the ticker up. I cannot. This is wild. Hit that like button. Get this in the algo. Where the hell is my... God dang. All right. Scrolling ticker. Sorry if you didn't get a notification, folks. All right, I'm nervous too. Here we go, folks. Here we go. Oh, maybe not. Again, thanks so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you for watching this with me. Maybe I'll share this as a post on YouTube for people that don't get the notification. Create a post. Create post. There he is. All right, here we go, folks. Bob is here. Bob says he called a fast verdict. Thanks for being here, everybody. What's up, Malicious Intent? Pam Coggin, Chelsea Ritchie, Lauren Elizabeth, Judy Jettison, Creative Minds, Tashi, Sheila, Bob, Mish, KJ, Helen B, Raul, Karen, Intolerance, Sheila, Karen, Rachel Brandenburg, MH, Bonnie Bailey, Veronica Trejo. Who's that lady with the hat? Donnie. Sioux City Sue, Zafiro, Tennis Girl, Marina, Debbie, Helen, Legal Mama, Jen, Kim Hello Spring, Carly Austin, Amanda the Afy, Lisa's here, Serena, Rabbit. This is the verdict, folks. We have a verdict. She left the courtroom. Like, she left. So there's footage of her, Hannah, that is, leaving. Tracy, Jay Polanco, Karen is here. Mandy, P. Davis, Tina, Anita, Jersey Jen, DJ T, Holly Berry, Mia Wallace, Wildfire. Yeah, that based on that question, to me, that question, they were leaning not guilty. I don't know, man. This might be a NG. That intervening question, Charlotte's here. Next chapter, not that Nikki. Brooklyn's here. Moxie, Raul, Wildfire, Betty, Chloe and Sally, Donna White, Mary Sutton, Sarah, Dizzy, Snazzy Trinkets Jewelry, Bugapoo Cheryl. This is the verdict. This is the verdict. Deborah's here, Jill's here, Laura's here. Need some Z's is here. Same. I need some here. Z's. Sarah, Irene. The poll earlier was 80% guilty, folks. Mish, Elizabeth Mahoney, Trish Norman, Spicy Cappy, Shelly Tarbett, Muffy Donovan, Tad, Evelyn, JoJo, MLE. I'm so behind on the chat. KTG, Mandy Bobandy, Mandy Joe. The question was about an intervening. Oh, I gotta find it. Basically, the jury asked if they could have done something to prevent this, if they should still find her guilty, basically. Jury had a question about instruction 20 language, and that was, however, if you find the negligence of a person other than the defendant was the only significant cause of death or constitutes an intervening cause that breaks the foreseeable chain of events, then the defendant is not guilty of the offense of involuntary manslaughter. And the jury wanted to know if that could have to do with stuff that happened in the past, stuff that could have prevented it. And the judge was like, we're not answering this. We can't answer this, which the prosecution and the defense received. They didn't give an answer. So there we go. Not that Nikki's here. Carrie 28. Hey Mona. Kathy Ward. Creative Minds. Catherine. Again, guys, Sarah's here. If you missed it, I went live really quickly after I went off the live stream before because I really just wanted to thank everyone for watching with us. So I appreciate everyone. Sean is here, not Sean, Sean. I wanted to thank everyone for watching this with us, all the mods, all the guests that came on. It really meant the world. Donna White is here. $2.5 hours, folks. 2.5 hours. Yes, the verdict is in, folks. We're just waiting. Cora Jean is here. Me get emotional? Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. I don't have my own gum for when I cry. That was quicker than I thought. You know what I got to hit you with? There are too many opportunities with all these comments. I got to hit you with this. Let's put on the sound effects. I got to hit you with that's was quicker than I thought.
That's what she said.
Lisa's here. Lisa Dempsey, thank you so much for the PayPal before or Venmo. I thanked you, but I didn't know if you were there. I gotta have next time. I gotta have a verdict thumbnail ready. I've been going live, and it's just a picture of me and Babe. Next chapter is here. Need some Z's. Thank you. Jill Downey's here. Guys, if you missed it before, after the jury question, I replayed it, but Judge Mom just had a huge sigh, like, I am done with this trial, basically. My mom and dad are here. I gotta pull up the right chat thing. I got them using the wrong thing. I won't put on monetization, so there's not a commercial while you're waiting for the verdict. Won't do that to you. Viv is here. What's up, Viv? The snozberries taste like snozberries. Yes, the verdict is in. And if you think I made up that name, I did not. The snozberries taste like snozberries. Yes, the verdict is in. Helen Steiner is here. Mia Beto is here. Mystic Mama. Suzanne Holm. Packed house, folks. Packed house for the verdict. Oh, shit. Look who it is. Kato Kalin. I mean, what was that idiot's name again? What was that dope? Seth Kinney. Not Kato Kalin. I think it might be. I think it might be a not guilty with that question, but we shall see. Yeah, that wasn't Kato Kalin. That was Seth Kenny. Marla's here. The guy who kept picking his nose with the camouflage is here. If you're coming in late, the question was, the jury had a question about instruction 20 language, second paragraph. And the second paragraph says, however, if you find the negligence of a person other than the defendant was the only significant cause or death or constitutes an intervening cause that breaks the foreseeable chain of events, then the defendant is not guilty of the offense of involuntary manslaughter. So they had a question about the intervening cause that breaks the foreseeable chain of events. There she is. They asked if they could go back, and if that is talking about something preventing this from happening. They asked if that intervening cause could have been something that prevented this from happening. The judge and everyone, they didn't send an answer. They said, we can't answer this. Here we go, folks. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Put on the audio. This guy, I don't know who this guy is with the camouflage. I don't like him. I don't like that guy. I don't like him. I don't know what his fucking deal is. I don't like him. He's making faces the whole time at the jury. I can't believe he wasn't admonished.
Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal.
Thanks for being here. We got 330 people. This is amazing. Thank you for being here to watch this.
I hate so much about the things that you
Oh my
choose
God, here
to
we
be.
go. Here we go.
You will bring the jury.
Here we go. Here we go.
All right, you may be seated. All right. Just a minute.
Her
All right,
phone is
ladies,
going off. Hannah's phone
ladies
is
and
going
gentlemen
off.
of the jury, through the foreperson, have you reached a
She was
verdict?
DMing me.
Yes.
All right, let me see the verdict form.
She needs a hearing aid.
All right, so let me repeat.
Coffee.
I said, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, through the foreperson, have you reached a verdict?
Yes.
All right, and do you wish to read the verdicts?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
I would start with count one.
Helen.
Okay. You heard both of them. Will the defendant please stand?
Holy shit. Holy shit.
We find the defendant, Hannah Gutierrez, guilty of involuntary manslaughter as charged in count one. We find the defendant, Hannah Gutierrez, not guilty of tampering with evidence as charged in count two.
All right, thank you. You may be seated. Let me get those forms, retrieve those forms from you. I'm going to do what's called polling the jury. What I need to put on the record is that this is your individual verdict, okay? So I'm going to start with the gentleman in the back. Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Sir, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Sir, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Sir, is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Sir, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, is this your verdict? Ma'am, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, is this your verdict? Okay, thank you. All right, so you've completed your service. Thank you so much for being here.
Right
It
away.
was a long trial. People may want to talk to you. This has been pretty much a lot of publicity, and you don't have to. Okay, so you can just simply say, I do not wish to talk, and move on. And if anybody bothers you, we've really tried to protect your privacy. If anybody bothers you, simply call my division, and we'll figure out what to do. But you also may talk. Okay, so it's entirely up to you. Okay. All right, so you can escort them out.
Yes, sure.
All right.
The verdict was
Thank you.
guilty.
All right.
Involuntary manslaughter, guilty. Not guilty for the evidence. Guilty for involuntary manslaughter, not guilty tampering with evidence.
Ryan.
Sorry.
You should probably stay here, but I wanted
I'm going to stay live. Sometimes they do a press conference.
All right, you may be seated. All right, is there anything that the state's requesting based upon the verdict?
We would request that Ms. Gutierrez be taken into custody.
Oh,
Mr. Bowles?
Your Honor, we would request under, pull up the rule, Your Honor. Your Honor, Rule 5402, release pending sentencing. In this court's discretion, under the same conditions or other conditions as this court would deem necessary. Ms. Gutierrez has been on conditions. She has not violated those conditions. She has voluntarily appeared at all court proceedings. Your Honor, I would request this court to continue conditions or whatever conditions this court would.
is that her mom? Is her mom the
All right,
blonde?
thank you.
Is that her brother?
I'm going to remand you, and the reason why I'm going to remand you is you are now convicted. And so, and this is a death. It's a criminal negligence, but it's still a death. And so, deputies, you're going to take her into custody, and we will set a sentencing date. What is the best, what do you want to look like on that? And we need an order of remand, do we? Haven? Okay. Counsel?
In terms of the sentencing date?
Yes.
At the court's convenience, will be available. There are 2 weeks in May that I'm unavailable. Those are the last 2 weeks of May.
All right. Mr. Bowles?
Your Honor, as soon as this court has time, it will be available.
All right, so do you have any conflict like that? She said May. Do you have any conflict?
I don't know for sure, Your Honor, that I could. I do have other trials, but I think mid-May.
Well, I can do it sooner.
Okay.
I just wondered if you had any conflicts along the way.
Doesn't look like mid-May, Your Honor. I do. I don't think I have any conflicts.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not understanding. Do you have, okay, we're in March. Do you have time before May?
We have time in April.
Okay. Sure. All right. Okay. All right. Anything else before the court?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. We're in recess. Deputy.
I'm going to stay live. If anyone could tell me if they see, I don't know if Law and Crime will cover the press conference. If anyone sees if there's a press conference, please let me know. Man, that was quicker than Charlie Adelson.
Involuntary manslaughter and also not guilty for the tampering with evidence charge.
I think it was spot on.
It's Afi who was in the chat.
I think I would have found her guilty. All of the evidence was there. I thought the tampering charge, again, I've said this time and time again, I hate to use the word bogus, but I don't know whatever common term to use. There was no way that they could prove that there was cocaine in that packet. I would have been objecting all over the place to, all of the evidence, the question and testimony that was put forth with respect to that. But again, the only thing that I believe Hannah Gutierrez Reed had to do was check those bullets, take the time and check those bullets. It wouldn't have taken her 55 seconds. It wouldn't have taken her 2 minutes, but a life could have been saved that day. And I think that's what it comes down to, those couple of minutes right before she passed off the gun. Everything else that happened is just, it's just extra ancillary. It's the fact that she should have taken the time to check. She wasn't under any pressure at that moment. She did not take the time. It's sad. It's unfortunate. It's gutting, but this is what it is. I also think she was in over her head. I don't think she should have had this position. And that goes to show, that's evidenced by how irresponsible, how sloppy she was on set, how disorganized she was on set.
I think that's
Ron
your
Zambrano, I want to get your opinion, your reaction to this.
Let me just pause this real quick. How lucky Afi was on with us. Bob Mata was on with us. Lisa Statman was on with us. Alina Burrows was on with us. Karen Smith was on with us. How lucky are we?
This verdict of guilt. What do you think?
If anyone sees a press conference, please let me know.
Ron, I think we're having an
point that my colleague said about, and I agree with her, that I don't believe Gutierrez Reed should have had this job. I think it was a job that she got because of who her dad was. And that is not a good thing for Alec Baldwin, because that is going to be part of the thing. Should have this young lady, I mean, she's a very young lady, should have this responsibility to have people's lives in her hands, especially, how she was conducting herself. And that's, I hate to bring it back to Alec Baldwin, but this is kind of a win for him, but, depends what the prosecution is going to do with regards to how they're going to handle it. But I also agree with my colleague in the sense that, there's a lot of evidence that I'm
going to tell you guys have seen me, for the folks that have been here and seen me on other verdicts, I have kind of gone off.
In this case, would be
I'm going to mute
Alec Baldwin, who of course faces.
I have gone off on the defendants. I've lost my mind on Alec Murdaugh, Richard Merritt, Charlie Adelson. I have gone off on them. I don't know. I think she was guilty. And I think she was just flippant about the whole thing. But just looking at her, she's so fucking young. I hope she goes to jail. When she goes to jail, she realizes how serious this was. It's kind of a reality check. She's guilty. Don't get me wrong. I feel bad for her. And she didn't care. She didn't care at the end. I probably shouldn't. She didn't give a fuck. All she cared about was her job. I just think about myself when I was that young, and I've told the story. I was not the most responsible. I don't know. Maybe I'm just having a moment. Let's hear what Afi has to say.
You automatically prepare for, and I think that the defense was also right for asking for her to be allowed to be out pending sentencing. I would ask pending appeal. I think that's just kind of par for the course. It's pretty normal.
No, absolutely. And Ron, I want to put yourself in the shoes of the defense there. What are your next moves? You're filing a notice of appeal. You're looking at the record. You're trying to find the points that are going to be.
Maybe because I saw her family crying, and I can't imagine if one of my kids was going to jail. I don't know.
Strongest on appeal. But in terms of the appeal pending.
Guys, does anyone know if there's a press conference anywhere? I'm checking out Alex Capriello. I don't know where to go to see if there's a press conference. Anyone have any ideas? If anyone has any ideas where there would be a press conference, please let me know. Because they're not going to it right now.
Those are transactional things. The bigger picture is you have to get, once you step away from this very long, arduous journey, you have to look at the evidence that was presented at trial, not what you'd like to put at trial, how to look, but really look at the record, go back and read everything and see how it is you could best do an appeal. And that takes a lot of work. Absolutely.
And Afi, do you think that Alec Baldwin's defense team are looking at this verdict right now?
But I guess if I'm Helena Hutchins' family, I'm not feeling bad for her, right? I mean,
their options and, the strategy they're going to employ for Alec Baldwin, they're going to be looking at this as they formulate their playbook.
Yeah, and it's good if this is the same prosecutor that's going to be prosecuting Alec Baldwin. I'm always, I always pull transcripts. They've got video because, show me my opponent, right? Let me know what your tactics are. I want to observe or, read your strengths and weaknesses. But I do think that this this very, very quick verdict bodes well for Alec Baldwin and his team. I think that the jurors put the blame squarely at the feet of Hannah Gutierrez Reed. So I think that, I don't think that they're shivering in their boots. I think that this is good for them. Also, I think there was some video that I saw during the trial where I saw Alec Baldwin, and he was very much so in his zone. He was very much being an actor when he did the crossbody pull. It's not like he was playing around or taking anything lightly. It seems to me that
she watched that video with us, folks. She watched that video with us.
He was handed a gun with a live round. So I think it bodes well for Alec and his team.
Yeah, and Ron, the prosecutor, in her summation to the jury in this trial, was quick to point out that in an involuntary manslaughter charge like this, based on negligence, criminal negligence, that there can be more than one cause of the death. So you're talking about causation here, and one or more individuals can be liable or here criminally culpable for the criminal negligence that would have led to.
Guys, does anyone know? Let me try. Does anyone know if there is live coverage right now?
7 of them do have guns, although all of them have some.
No.
But Mr. Baldwin also has his own criminal conduct that he should be prosecuted for, on top of the idea that he and the production that he's in charge of should have known better than hiring her, and whatever other theory they're going to come up with. They're not just going to stick with one, because I think this particular verdict is something that really boosts Mr. Baldwin, because he could just say, listen, I never handled a gun. When I got the gun, I was relying on someone whose profession it was to make sure it was safe. And it's not complicated. And one thing.
Here's the question I want to know. What do you think Wyatt Earp is doing right now? The Del Boca Vista expert.
You want as someone who's trying cases.
Something likely she loved, right? She was involved in movies, and so tragically, her life ends when she is behind the camera as she is filming this movie. And our thoughts are completely with her family at this time. Perhaps this provides at least some portion of closure. Of course, the legal issues, the legal cases, including with Alec Baldwin, continue on after this case. But Russ Armour, Hannah Gutierrez, was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter, found not guilty of tampering with evidence. And that does it for me here with the verdict, breaking it live to you viewers out there. But we want you to stick with Law and Crime for our regularly scheduled programming. I want to thank Afi Patterson and also Ron Zambrano for joining me as we.
All right, guys, I don't know what I should do. Do you want me to wait? I feel kind of weird just sitting here.
Broke this verdict to you. Have a good night.
You're the best, Afi. You're the best, Afi. You're the best, Afi. We can watch it again. That's a good point. All right, for if anyone came in late, here's the verdict.
Have you reached a verdict? Do you wish to read the verdict?
Sure.
Okay. I would start with count 1. Okay. You heard both of them. Will the defendant please stand?
We find the defendant, Hannah Gutierrez, guilty of involuntary manslaughter as charged in count 1. We find the defendant, Hannah Gutierrez, not guilty of tampering with evidence as charged in count 2.
All right, thank you. You may be seated. Let me get those forms, retrieve those forms from you. I'm going to do what's called polling the jury. What I need to put on the record is that this is your individual verdict, okay? So I'm going to start with the gentleman in the back. Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, is this your verdict? Yes. Sir, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Sir, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Sir, is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Sir, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, is this your verdict? Ma'am, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, is this your verdict? Okay, thank you. All right, so you've completed your service. Thank you so much for being here. It was a long trial. People may want to talk to you. This has been pretty much a lot of publicity, and you don't have to. Okay, so you can just simply say, I do not wish to talk, and move on. And if anybody bothers you, we've really tried to protect your privacy. If anybody bothers you, simply call my division, and we'll figure out what to do. But you also may talk. Okay, so it's entirely up to you. Okay.
Guys, they keep showing that lady with the glasses. I have no idea who she is. I gather, I could be wrong, camo guy was her brother, and this blonde lady is her mom. And I think this is Thel, right? This guy right here.
All right, so you can escort them out?
Yes, sure.
All right. Thank you.
All rise.
Oh, that's Helena's best friend. Thank you, Amy. That's Helena's best friend. Thank you, Amy.
You should probably stay here, but I wanted him to walk them all out.
Thank you, Amy. That was Helena's best friend. Thank you, Amy. And thank you all for being here. I know if I end this stream, Court TV, does Court TV have the press conference? Oh.
All right, is there anything that the...
Is it Court TV? Please tell me it's Court TV's YouTube. Or is it like Court TV, Court TV?
Government, in that. My sense was the evidence wasn't sufficient to convict.
Thank you for this excellent trial
and
coverage.
It was a lot of guesswork and a lot of speculation, but
Hard
again,
job well done.
the jury rendered its verdict, and we'll be appealing
clapping
that.
hands.
Did you feel like the
Let me just pause this real quick. Thank you so much, Tia. Thank you, Tia.
jury was kind of, the Alec Baldwin part of it? Is it, do you feel like the government actually was fair? Government was not fair. Absolutely not fair. And that will be part of our appeal. I think everybody saw what happened in that courtroom. And we'll be addressing it.
What's your reaction to the not guilty verdict?
I think that was the right verdict on that count.
Why did your client decide not to testify?
That's all we're going to do. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, MJ. I appreciate it, MJ. Thank you for telling me.
All right, so Brian Watkins, quickly, your response to what the defense had to say there. Essentially, basically claims they are going to appeal. We know that. But obviously, it seemed like he didn't think the evidence was sufficient to convict. That's certainly a grounds for appeal. Also said the government wasn't fair. Wouldn't elaborate, but felt the government wasn't fair. What do you make of that?
I don't know what he's,
Holy
what the
shit.
underlying...
Debbie Schultz.
The excellent coverage and guests. You are the best.
You are the best. $50, Debbie? Holy shit. Thank you so much, Debbie. Tony Bailey, thank you so much for $10.
Jay. Appreciate you always hopping on to tell us what's going on.
Thank you so much, Tony. Thank you so much, Debbie. And thank you so much, Tia. I don't know if there's going to be another press conference. The state's probably going to say something.
The government was not fair. I mean, the government came out and says, we're prosecuting everybody, you know what I mean? And one person took a plea deal because he admitted guilt, and we're also prosecuting Alec Baldwin. So I don't know where he's going with that, but I understand where he's saying that, there wasn't sufficient evidence. Then the prosecution put on evidence that she was bad at her job, that she was negligent.
Yes.
But for involuntary manslaughter charge, you have to be good at your job and know what you're doing.
All right. Does anyone see if there's another one? Thank you, MJ, and thank you for everyone who told me this was on. Do we know if there's anything else on?
Is wrong and bad, and then do it anyway. And so it was contradictory. If you answer, I think he didn't do at the sort of.
She's not. He is responsible. So listen, if this is what happens in this case, then it's going to send a message. It's going to deter. It's going to force people on sets to be more prepared, more on point, especially for armorers, obviously. And, you know, maybe that's the message that the judge and the jury are hoping to send.
Yeah, I certainly think within this forum that's the case, but oftentimes that kind of message is sent in civil court.
Guys, if you're wondering why I'm pausing and fast forwarding, I just don't want to get a copyright.
Not in criminal court. We've talked about that a lot. But we're going to take a break right now. Stay with us. There's a lot more to discuss.
Nope, not going to play the commercials. I've learned that message. I've gotten copyright claims because of commercials before, so certainly not going to do that. All right, guys, unless someone, I think I'm going to end it here. I know if I end it, the state will come up for their freaking thing. I know it. I just know it.
Alec Baldwin. We want to break down exactly what this means and bring in our next guest as we have attorney Matt Timpanik joining.
All right, guys, I think that's it. Thank you all. Thank you so much. I wish there was we love that you're here, Irene. I wish notifications were better for YouTube. If you're watching on the Rewatch crew, I don't the notifications suck sometimes, but thank you all so much. I have my gun. I'm going to cry. This has been crazy. Your support is great. So, thank you guys and catch you on the next one. Thank you all.